Welcome to Gary Wood's Views on Our World. My name's Gary Wood, an old VFW dude dedicated to American federalism with views you may not have considered. Today we're looking at government problems resulting from a simple routing error. Routing errors can cause real problems when traveling. Heading to your destination can be easy or complex depending on the route chosen. Getting off course or making an error while en route creates delays, lost time, frustration, and increased expenses. Anyone who has done even a small amount of traveling has experienced problems derived from a routing error. What may look like a good route on a map quickly proves to be longer with less services and fewer ways to get help if needed. In the United States, the 16th Amendment's approval for a federal income tax gave federal government a direct route to the people's earnings, providing an access to a lot of money. Money is the fuel for building a bureaucratic state. If we fast forward, the 1929 stock market crash helped government sell the notion it needed to create federal agencies to help people. The problems, after all, are too big to fix locally. Citizens were given a New Deal in the 1930s, and the routing of tax dollars accelerated from the people to D.C. Despite this bureaucratic growth spurt, as recently as the 1950s, many of the programs designed to help people were local, with funding routed from the local people through a private charity or local government office. The Great Society and bureaucratic expansion in the 60s and 70s would change that as transformational bureaucracy began to take control of the route more tax and charitable dollars traveled. Central government experts were slowly put in charge of more and more rules and regulations impacting everyday living beyond federal authority, today accounting for over 96% of new rules and laws governing people. Agencies were started or expanded to combat poverty and crime, centralize education, tackle environmental issues, control waterways, oversee food supplies, determine nutrition standards, and much more. Additional federal tax dollars are needed for operating these growing federal services, so more is collected locally, routed through bureaucrats and representatives in D.C., and doled back to the states and local communities, depending on the decisions of the experts in charge. To further fund the growing central government, fees are now added to provide additional revenue streams. Helping people is expensive after all. There's one agency that serves as a good example of the complexities this route for taxes and fees can lead to. The Department of Education is a warm and fuzzy agency that was not officially created until 1979, beginning operations in May of 1980, just over 36 years ago. Now, with over 75 billion tax dollars and thousands of bureaucrats deciding what education programs and places will receive some of those dollars back, many already believe that this is a vital agency. We cannot, after all, educate our children without it. States have become agents for the department in an effort to maintain funding sent from D.C. to the states, while local schools adhere to department demands or risk losing precious financial aid granted to them by D.C. bureaucrats, secured for them by their elected representatives. Finances that originated with the people were sent to D.C., filtered through the DOE, and a portion returned to the people's local schools if those schools adhere to the DOE rules and regulations. Now, is education better because of the last 36 years of routing dollars through the central government agency? Most citizens would say no. Locally, our schools are not better under central planning. Politicians will tell those same citizens it is unthinkable to eliminate this federal department. After all, it would send us back to the era of one-room schoolhouses, and we need to reach for the future, not get stuck in the past. Besides, we're told, giving the tax dollars back to state and local control Well, that may lead to fraud, waste, and abuse, while risking our children's ability to learn. After all, nobody cares for your children more than the bureaucrats, politicians, and unions dedicated to expanding their programs for your sake. Opposing this agency brands you as someone uncaring for children or education. Now, that's typical when opposing these big bureaucracies. After all, if you oppose the Environmental Protection Agency, well, then you want to return to polluted water and air. Department of Health and Human Services opposition means you want to return to child labor and sweatshops. If you don't like the Department of Energy, you must want to live by candlelight. Bureau of Land Management opposition means you want to destroy public lands. Any thought of operating through a clearer route than the DC tax and fee route means you are delusional, archaic, some kind of originalist, and you just must hate government. You're likely an anarchist, rebel, or even perhaps a terrorist, according to some bureaucrats, special interest groups, and politicians. Transformational bureaucracy is pitched to be an excellent route for the people. State, local, and self-governing routes of the past are outdated and far less traveled. It is better, we are sold, to stick to the toll road of federal control to arrive safely at your destination, living a democratic, equal life. Forget any other routes. Ignore big government failures and simply send more dollars to make travel better. Better economics, less poverty, better crime rates, less drugs, better streets, less danger, better send in the money, less need to care for self, better believe in transformation through rules and regulation, trust the road most traveled, stay with centralized planning, fund the federal bureaucracy. There's a legacy to build for our country, our children, and our future, so forget the self-governing, localized past. Toll gate up ahead. Government problems result from a simple routing error. We send our tax dollars to the federal government for daily life needs. We give up local authority, beg them to send some back, and wonder why there is so much waste, so little success, and so much frustration. We then spend billions to elect people to play the beggar's game for us. We spend billions more to lobby those we just elected. Spend billions more to repeat this cycle year after year while the central bureaucracy expands and poverty, crime, education, and the welfare state suffer locally. We route the dollars through transformational bureaucracy and end up racing down the highway to hell. Is this really the best route? I leave you with a quote from Harry Brown. He states, "The escalation of entitlements in the 1960s and 1970s has led to the devastation of American cities, the decline of American education, and the deterioration of self-reliance. The larger government gets, the more power it has to forbid any change in the systems, and the more its waste of our resources reduces the chance of getting out of this without national bankruptcy." Until next time, this is Gary Wood. Continue the discussion at aneaglesprayer.org or visit me on Facebook. Make it a great day.